water main break on Lakeshore Boulevard at Lost Nation Road. So police are there trying to help direct the traffic around onto some of the small side streets to get around that. And over on the southwest side, because of that fire from last week, we have a heavy crane on the scene at Ridge and Pearl, and that's blocking some of the active lanes. I'm Pat Brady, Buzzard Skyway Patrol for WMMS.
Celebrate New Year's Eve at Baker's Red Band Restaurant. Find exercise, the Buzzard Morning Zoo T-shirt, courtesy of Daffy Dan's, and the 1986 Buzzard calendar.
In the comic series, Aquaman, what was Aquaman's wife's name? In the comic series, Aquaman, what was Aquaman's wife's name?
I know that one.
You've been pulling these things out of the wall.
Listen, I got to stump him once in '85, and this is my last chance.
Want to make another bet about jumping out the window?
No, I got bruises from the last time.
348-1007, 1-800 ahead of that if you're calling anywhere outside the state.
The world's best dressers have carefully...
48 Buzzard Morning Zoo to the phone. Good morning. What's your name?
Dave Gordon.
Where are you from, Dave?
From Lakewood.
What do you do?
I'm a machinist, tool and die maker.
What are you doing up so early?
Well, today I had today off, so I was helping get everybody else off to school and to work here.
Actually, you're going to probably get every inch of this day in, right?
You better believe it.
Would you like to say hello to someone special?
Yeah, I'd like to say hello to people over at Premiere.
All right. Dave, carefully.
In the comic series, Aquaman, what was Aquaman's wife's name? Mira.
Yay, you got it.
Dave. Congratulations.
I have a perfect record now for 85. I haven't stumped anybody on the morning mind exercise, but wait till 86. You thought you'd get us, did you?
Yep. Dave, how did you know that?
Oh, I've been watching cartoons for a long time. I still watch them.
Beats everything else on the tube, don't it?
Yeah, sure does.
Thanks, Dave. Have a happy New Year. What are you doing tonight?
We're just going to be sitting around and enjoying ourselves here instead of going out with all the crazy.
That's a good idea.
That's a real good idea. Take it easy at home, you know.
Yeah.
Break up your own furniture.
Leave the roads to the amateurs.
Yeah, really.
649. David Lee Roth. How will I know from the WMMS Buzzard Morning Zoo at 6:56? Jeff Kinzbach and the Buzzard Morning Zoo crew. What's your New Year's resolution?
My New Year's resolution? To make sure I get home.
I hear that.
Smart.
It's not a bad one, you know. I think about it. Up to Pat Brady of the Buzzard Skyway Patrol. Here's another traffic update. Pat?
Just not too much of a change out there on the roadway. Still no real major volume headed into the downtown area on any of the interstates. No stop cars and no accidents. But a couple of other things to watch out for. If you're traveling St. Clair this morning, we still have fire equipment blocking the eastbound right-hand lane at East 38th Street, so be sure to watch out for that. RT was still rerouting their number 1 bus over there. And out on the far east side in Willoughby, a water main break at Lakeshore and Lost Nation Road. Expect police to help you get around that by using some of the side streets. And also down at Ridge and Pearl, we have a heavy crane blocking some of the active lanes while they tear down those buildings from last week's fire. I'm Pat Brady, Buzzard Skyway Patrol for WMMS.
Jules by IMG.
Hey, from the WMMS Buzzard Morning Zoo, your New Year's resolution?
Oh, I don't know. Have more sex this year.
Here's Ed Flash Barrett. A Cleveland firefighter was killed early today while battling a blaze at 38th and St. Clair. The victim, identified as 35-year-old Daniel Pescatris. 2 other firefighters were injured. The family of the Brunswick soldier was killed earlier this month in the Aero Air jet crash in Newfoundland is now suing the Miami-based airline for $15 million. A Kirtland man lived through a plane crash yesterday. Commuters in Canton can get to work on the RTA buses there today. Cleveland police are continuing the investigation of 2 vehicle impound lots. And in a statement received by a Western news agency, the Islamic Jihad organization threatens to mount more anti-American kidnappings and suicide bombings in 1986. In sports, the Cavs lost last night. The forecast, scattered flurries. Today's high near 40. We'll have all the details a half hour from now. You know, everybody's looking back at the events of 1985, but here's a look at things that didn't happen. Prince Charles was not trampled by a herd of elephants or kidnapped by terrorists. That's great. Lee Majors did not make a trip into space, although a lot of people think he's there already. That's true. And poison ivy did not become a medicine. What those non-events have in common is that they were all forecast for 1985 by various self-described psychics. Gene Dixon got off to a bad start by predicting that President Reagan's inauguration would be marred by tragedy or violence. The only tragedy was that the parade was canceled due to cold weather. Sylvia Brown said a major earthquake would strike. Canada. Not one of the seers foresaw the Colombian volcano eruption, the hijacking of the Achille Lauro,
or President Reagan's cancer surgery. The Bay Area Skeptics, a San Francisco group that keeps tabs on psychic claims, says the Sears batting average in 1985 was much worse than the average person could have done themselves.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, it really is.
They do make a lot of news, though.
We got a whole bunch of predictions for 1986 here that we'll run down here a little bit later on this morning. Some of them are kind of funny, some of them are kind of frightening. Starship MMS this morning. It's Sarah from the MMS Buzzard Morning Zoo. 7:04, Jeff Kinzbach and Ed Flash Ferris reporting on MMS Sports.
Cavaliers blew a 6-point lead with 6 minutes left in the game last night. Lost to the Chicago Bulls, 121-117, before a crowd of over 11,000 at the Coliseum. Cavs remain in 4th place, their record 14-18. By the way, forward Phil Hubbard will be out of action for at least 2 weeks. He has a sprained wrist. The team is off till Friday night when they host the LA Clippers.
Elsewhere in the NBA, it was Indiana over Washington, 97-80. New Jersey took out the New York Knicks by a score of 123-111. New York's been red hot. Milwaukee over Detroit, 121-110. Denver over Houston, 125-122. It was Utah, 107. Seattle, 105. Boston over the Los Angeles Clippers, 125-103. Portland over San Antonio, 125-110. And the 76ers down Sacramento by a score of 87-84.
The top 4 undefeated teams in the Associated Press College basketball poll have held their positions this week. North Carolina still tops the list, followed by Michigan, Duke, and Syracuse.
Only one game in the NHL last night. Los Angeles beat Winnipeg 4-2. And the Detroit Red Wings have a new coach. The Wings fired Harry Neal and replaced him with former NHL defenseman Brad Park. Neal had a record of 8 wins, 23 losses, and 4 ties.
Cleveland Browns are now in Florida getting ready for Saturday's playoff game against Miami. The Dolphins still favored by 10.5 points. The Associated Press NFL Defensive Player of the Year is linebacker Mike Singletary of the Chicago Bears. Singletary has been a major factor in the Bears' record this year, 15-1. College Bowl action last night. Florida State beat Oklahoma State 34-23, that was the Gator Bowl, while Washington beat Colorado 2017 in the Freedom Bowl. 3 more bowl games today, the Bluebonnet Bowl, Peach Bowl, and the All-American Bowl. Lots of bowls. Ohio State head team physician Dr. Robert J. Murphy said yesterday that he's disturbed by charges that he and his staff mishandled and misinformed tailback Keith Byers and his family after Byers broke his foot in preseason practice. Byers' father, who's a Baptist minister in Dayton, said university doctors made a mistake at the time of his son's September 2nd injury, and they should have operated and placed the pin in a foot. Well, they placed the pin in his foot back then, instead of fooling around with it. And there's a possibility they might sue OSU, or it could jeopardize his whole career there. You know what this reminds me of? The Bill Walton story. It does, with Portland and everything. That's the latest in the world of sports for the Buzzards here at MMS this morning. 7:07. Brian Adams, big guy. Sorry about Diana. 7:10 from the MMS Buzzard Morning Zoo. What are you guys doing tonight? Well, of course, Flash and I will be at the mining company ringing in the new year. What about you, Boom? Well, we're going to dinner. Just a very quiet little thing, family thing.
How romantic.
What are you doing tonight that we could say on the air?
I'm going partying at the G-Man's where they're going to have a champagne in the pool.
Broski, what do you plan to do?
Well, I'm going to have me a rock and roll New Year's. I'm down at Peabody's down under the flats tonight with Nation of One and Slam Bamboo.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Many as 64,000 fans entering the All-American Bowl game tonight will be handed kazoos to toot in the new year.
Oh, that's great.
Right. Chamber of Commerce officials, however, hope to put all that breath to better use. At halftime of the Michigan State-Georgia Tech football game, fans will be led in a tune by Wilson Pickett.
No kidding.
Wicked Pickett.
The world record for a kazoo orchestra was set earlier this year by 35,000 Vanderbilt University football fans, so they're going to try to break that tonight and almost double it up.
Funky Broadway on kazoo. That's going to be great.
They're going to try to do that at halftime. I was going to say, they do that at midnight and forget it. Won't be any kazooing.
It's going to be cloudy and windy this morning, and later on today, cloudy with a chance of flurries high near 40. Scattered flurries overnight tonight with a low down near 15. And much for the same for New Year's Day with a high around 30. We have winds out of the southwest right now at 20.